This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Bev's Video Kingdom is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised.
Bev's Video Kingdom really is brought to you by...
What the fuck?
What's up, dude?
One of my renters broke the toilet again. That dude takes giant shits. Now I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Why don't you hire a property management company or something to take care of that stuff?
Because they suck, and they take 10%.
You know, our dude Hank owns and manages Heritage Realty Partners. I think he said he only charges 5%, and he visits each property at least once a month.
That's right. He's always posting beers from the road. You have his number?
Actually, I do. His personal number is 805-451-5734.
Perfect. Now he can deal with my renter's big shits.
Heritage Realty Partners.
For all your property management and investment needs. What up, Bev's Video Kingdom? We're drafting.
Oh, boy.
I'm pretty excited. Off of the Notting Hill Hot Take Fest. And we are here to follow it up with a draft about, you guessed it,
Something I know a lot about.
hairiness. Wait, no. That's not what it is.
Well, yeah.
Hairdos.
I do know a lot about hairiness in general, but not
that
on top of my head.
We're doing the most memorable hairdos in film.
Scotch, when is the last time you had a hairdo?
Oh, go fuck yourself.
I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying when's the last time that you...
Wait a minute.
When did you actually act like, oh, this is my new hairdo?
So I shaved my head for the very first time.
Because you had a mullet kind of at some point.
I did. So I definitely had a mullet in high school. I actually had the spike on top and the permed mullet in the back.
Oh, that's so low.
I had that.
I permed that shit. I went to
permed
a
a mullet.
fucking beauty salon,
Oh, yeah.
and I'll admit it right now, I did that shit.
6th grade for me. Lot of perming.
think
They definitely had the perm.
It looked so
for
good with a
reals.
baseball cap,
It looked
right?
fantastic.
You wear a baseball cap, it poofed out the
Yeah,
back. You look
yeah.
like the coolest person ever.
I had spikes sticking through my baseball hat.
I mean, not all of you can have a little soul like me and, have a little, just the natural curls going on.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, but to answer your question, so actually at one point, believe it or not, I had bangs that were below my chin and my hair went past my shoulder blades. Like I had the whole 80s rocker.
Rocked hard, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Shit.
and, but yeah, and I shaved it in college. And then the first time I shaved it, I was like, fuck this. I don't have to have a haircut ever again. And just started buzzing it.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I saved a lot of money on shampoo. And
I held on for a while, but it got thin enough. And I was so afraid because when I was a kid, I got made fun of a lot, probably by Brad, as though I had big giant ears, which I did. And still do. Actually, to be more accurate, I have one ear that sticks out from my head further than the other. The size is not really a problem. I mean, they're not like giant long ears.
right.
So I got made fun of as like a 3rd or 4th or 5th grader, and that held on for about 20 some years. And I was like terrified when I was going to shave my head. I was like, dude, I'm going to look like I'm like a fucking satellite dish, just these big old, and so I finally pulled the trigger, and I got a lot of positive responses.
So surprisingly, people don't act like junior hires once you get into your 20s and 30s that much.
Most of the time.
Until you join a
most of the time.
podcast.
So, but Walter, per baldness, Walter, you asked a question. Walter joining us here as our 4th for the draft. What's up, Walter?
What's going on, guys?
You said, is bald a hairdo? What do you mean by that, Walter?
Well, I meant,
Explain, son.
So I can grow hair, right? I can grow a lot of hair on the top of my head, but if I shave it all off, it's a hairstyle. I'm choosing I'm choosing to shave my head and be bald, and I think that's a hairdo as opposed to, I mean, I guess
if you really want to get into the semantics of it, someone who's kind of got the horseshoe going with the bald on top and the sides full, it's also a choice not to shave off the rest of it.
Yeah, so you're saying if it's intention, it's a hairdo, but if it's just God's plan, then
that was just I was just asking when we were talking about the draft whether or not that was a distinction that needed to be made or if it didn't matter.
So Walter, you've had longish hair most of the time I've known you. Like, what is the longest your hair's ever been?
My hair, so the longest it's ever been, I could pull it down to about
Past
2
your chin?
inches past my chin, on my face, and then on my back, it probably went down to just sat right in between the top of my shoulder blades. So I've had some pretty long hair. When I had my hair that long, I shaved the sides and back, so it was just the top of it that was that long. So you couldn't really if I had a hat on, I'd kind of put it up under the hat, and you couldn't tell. It just looked like I had sort of a buzz cut.
It's kind of a Mike Patton thing, right? You
Yeah,
shave the
and
sides.
absolutely.
And then in high school, I let all of it get that long, so it was really big, and it was a lot of it because I didn't shave like the sides or anything. It was just the whole of my head that was that long.
All this hair talk is interesting because it actually segues very nicely into one of the podcasts of the month of the Deluxe Edition Network, which we are a part of. And one of the podcasts of the month for the Deluxe Edition Network is Beard Laws.
No Shave November.
And these guys have a podcast where they talk about beards and how to care for a beard. And they have all these, they actually
have products
and stuff you can order. And then they talk about all kinds of different topics. And check them out on deluxeeditionnetwork.com. Also, Take on the World is another podcast. They talked about all kinds of different subjects and topics. And so you can check them all out at deluxeeditionnetwork.com. And
are you saying they have takes on the world?
They have takes on the world.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
well, speaking of hair, I just thought it was funny that our buddy Zach can't be here today. We love Zach and we miss him, but
and he's a big hair pie. Is that what this is coming?
No, I was going to say that I would have been drafting against 3 bald guys for the most memorable hairdos, which I thought it was going to be hilarious and ironic.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, that's right. I thought you were saying Walter was.
No,
bald.
I'm saying if it would have been Zach, it would have been 3 bald dudes and me.
Yeah.
It's a sitcom, right? 3 bald dudes.
We're currently writing the script.
It's an 80s movie with Tom Selleck. Now speaking of we talked about beard laws, which by the way, he has great reaction videos.
Yeah.
Like to people grooming their beards. I can't look away, but you guys all have beards, right? I have kind of a beard-ish, it's like
Brad has
Your
a
beard-
goatee.
I have
beard
pubes.
adjacent.
I have chin pubes.
Brad has a goatee.
Brad has chin goats, and you guys have real lush. Walter and Scott, you have really thick, lush beards. Are they itchy?
Never.
No, I would say I've shaved it all the way down before, and it's itchy for a couple days when it's getting long, but after that you kind of get through it. But
yeah, actually, I'm gonna take that back because every once in a while in the wintertime it will get a little itchy. I'll get a little beard drift.
yeah, get a little dry.
And like dandruff, but I'll get the beard drift on my shirts, and so I'll throw a little Selsun Blue in there, wipes it right out.
Beard oil.
Well, and one of the interesting questions here is with the beards being so thick, like it's really becomes part of the hairdo in a sense, right? So, and you can't totally separate it, but
So are you trying to say that beards are going to be in this
I'm not
draft?
saying that. I'm just saying that.
Where are you going with this?
Are we
Where is
throwing
he going?
Is this secret caveats?
No, I'm just making conversation. Okay, don't
a
read too much into it.
A hairdo, I see what you're saying, Nate, because a hairdo, we're talking about hair in some form, shaped, memorable.
Okay, well then are we talking pubes too, chest hair? Come on, it's hair on top of your head.
Let's just go right at it. What about mutton chops, right? I mean, the mutton chop is extension of the hair.
I'm thinking top
What
of the
about
head.
sideburns?
We got to stick with top of the head. Top of the head.
You're telling me that sideburns wouldn't be relevant if we were doing like a 90210 draft?
I think we go ahead and decide what we're talking about.
Let the
is
judge pick
let
it.
the judge decide what they feel is the right way to interpret. That's what we've been doing lately.
I mean, do we want to talk about my chest pubes all the way down to my ball fro?
I did see a guy that had like shaved a tiny little patch above his lip and then like the little flavor saver down through the beard. He had a connection all the way down to the goodie trail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well,
if we were going to draft,
Are you moving us on?
If we were going to.
I'm gonna move us on because I just want to make. I'm not going to do any of our bevometrics or anything right now. I'm just going to say we've had 8 previous drafts. Somebody's won 4 of them.
He's so
Nobody won 4 of the drafts.
he's so fucking
Somebody has won
Bullshitty with
4
this
out of the
fucking
last
talk.
8 drafts. I'm just saying that
4
that
winnerless drafts.
Somebody is pretty
I wonder who
hot.
that somebody is.
A bunch
Hot
tied
right
for
now.
second.
Hot. I've got a first, a second, and a first in my last 3 weeks. Come
You guys
on.
have only drafted 8 times. What?
I don't know. I mean, we've drafted 23, I think, so far.
Interesting.
I'm just
how
saying,
that
Scotch
cutoff was
Beck,
created.
Scotch
Yeah.
Beck, the king of the drafters. That's what his Instagram is, and I think it's starting to become.
I've been a little cold lately. I
Yeah.
got to bring it back.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Last time I was on, I won.
Yeah.
Walter, you have to mention that. As of all of our guests, he is still the only non-BVK winner.
That fucking sucks so bad right now.
Oh boy, and he's here tonight.
Yeah.
I know. But, I mean, you could have gone out and said, you know what? I'm never drafting again. But here you are back.
No, I mean, if
One's a fluke.
You want to give the listeners a peek behind the curtain? I was asked to do this
Last second.
today.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm here. I have a list.
Well, the coolest thing is it's not like you had to really watch a movie. Like, I mean, there's some drafts where it's like if you haven't kind of seen the movies, like it really kind of hurts. But this is one where it's just like you can look at a picture of it and be like, okay, that's a cool hairdo, or that's not.
Yeah, definitely.
I think this. it
Sometimes
kinda
the
works
hairdos
as-
come to life, though. And I'll have comments about that. Okay.
right.
We've kind of begged the question, though. Brad, what day is it?
I think it's this day.
Pipes. Look at the pipes. Okay. So, Brad, do you have a draft order for us?
I'm hoping I do. Let's press this little magic button here. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, look at it. Okay. Wow. Okay. Here we go. So, folks, last week we did Notting Hill. Notting Hill was our movie, and you know we had words. We had a little bit to talk about.
Their thoughts and
And I guess that movie inspired us because anybody associated with the pod decided to go out and start our own stores.
okay.
Yeah, we wanted to open our own stores, and so what we decided was we're going to open stores, and whoever stays open the longest is going to get the first pick.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what we decided to do. So I wasn't very smart. I decided to open a bookstore that sells books of directions to other stores. It was called the Yellow Pages, and I did not get one customer. Like it went out of business instantly.
Okay.
It was really bad.
That's a bad store.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Walter, you decided to open a store that sells anchovies and Bon Jovi albums. It was called Bon Jovi. And you went out of business in your 3rd week.
You should get the first pick just for the name.
Bon Jovi.
I'm so glad you stopped using AI. That's so good.
All right. And then let's see here. Nate, you decided to open a store, and this was the wildest thing I could even imagine. I was like, I don't know why you're doing this. You open a store that sells specialty condiments and offers cat spaying services. It was called Mayo Spays. And your store lasted 4 months. I was like, what are you doing opening
And
a
it
store
finally-
called Mayo Spays?
And it turns out it was wildly successful, but I just couldn't tolerate it anymore because it's
Yeah, you
the
quit
mayo.
because having the mayo there just drove you crazy, and you had to leave. It was really, really bad. And Scotch,
That's so Mayo space.
Mayo Space, condiments and space services. Yeah, and then Scotch, you opened a store that sells sticky sweet edible body products, and it was called Nut and Honey.
Okay. Yeah, it was a good idea. I had.
And it's wildly successful. Congrats.
Because no one can get out. They're stuck in there. And put on the honey underwear.
I mean, he offers free samples. You can actually like try out the products while you're there. It's pretty interesting. So good job.
You're
So
welcome.
you were the first pick. Nate, you're the second pick. Walter, you're in the 3rd position, which I've won twice this year with the 3rd position, so it's not impossible. I'm just gonna say. And then I'll be last. I've got the Raparito.
Raparito. It seems like you haven't had a lot of Raparitos.
I really feel like I'm always chunked in the middle
Yeah.
for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm glad to have
It's
two
like
picks in a row.
like I'm trying to think of when you had the first pick. Even like it seems like you were 2nd or 3rd almost always. So
I don't know.
have to
This
check the
fucking
metrics on
randomizer.
that.
I actually, the funny thing is like, so like I always type the names. Usually I put my name first, like in this little, like the draft randomizer. And this time I put my name last, and here I am in the 4th
right.
pick.
okay. So with the first pick,
I think there is a number one, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think so too. And when I think of memorable, iconic hairstyles, it's like I think if you see the hairstyle on somebody who isn't in the movie, like if you see a costume, you see it, you go, "Oh, that's the so and so haircut." That's like it just screams that haircut. And to me, this haircut has never been duplicated in this way. I got to go Princess Leia, Star Wars: A New Hope, as the most iconic weird hairstyle. I mean, you got cinnamon rolls on the side of your head. What the fuck's going on?
I typed that in before you even put it. I think that's the absolute number one.
You have to go with Princess Leia.
We're recording this the day after Halloween, and we were at a little Halloween parade in our town, and one of my wife's students came up. And she's like, "Oh, this is my husband," and she had the Princess Leia cinnamon rolls on the side. I was like, "Oh, there you go."
My wife
Legit.
occasionally does my daughter's hair that way and refers to them as space buns.
Space buns. I love it.
Without context or intentional humor.
There's a classic, and I remember we had this on videotape. It was called Hardware Wars. Did you guys ever see this spoof? It's like a short. It's like only like maybe 20 minutes long or something.
It was a part of like an old VHS like weird collection.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It had closet encounters of the fourth kind or something.
And it also had Bambi versus Godzilla.
Yes, it did. Bambi versus Godzilla. These little short movies. And I'm pretty sure they were literally cinnamon rolls on the side of her head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
There you go.
Anyway.
All right, Nate, owner of Mayo Spays.
That's actually an appropriate store because this next choice kind of has a little bit of a like you could mistake the hairdo for being mayonnaise related, but
Good call.
Okay.
Yep.
in fact, it's not mayonnaise. It's a substance that sometimes looks like it. To give Cameron Diaz the Something About Mary bangs.
Yep. Absolutely my second.
I fought with that one. I really fought with that one. I know it's memorable, but it's like unintentional hair. I mean, I don't know.
I think
It's memorable. It gets the hugest laugh. That was,
Yeah.
I mean, it's iconic.
It's on the poster, dude.
I just didn't want to draft it. I guess that's what I'll say. I just was hoping not to have to draft it.
Well, luckily you don't have to.
I do not have to because it went number 2. All right.
All right, Walter, 3 spot.
Oh, great. So as I mentioned earlier, I was tapped for this draft less than 24 hours ago.
Comes the excuses. I think last time you gave a lot of excuses, then
I know,
one.
then he fucking won.
And the 2 picks that I thought would be my first round pick are already gone. Rightfully so. I thought those should go 1 and 2 for sure. And I don't think we've said this, but my wife is judging the draft.
Right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
They've probably already talked about all their picks.
Before.
Oh no, I don't. I think you just. This is something to be mentioned that we did not mention. That yeah.
Before I
Kendra from last week is
before
now
I got the
draft
call
judge.
for the draft. She spoke a little bit about like, hey, what should I do for my judging criteria? And I couldn't really come up with much, and so she came up with all this stuff. And then when I said, hey, I think I'm drafting because they need a 4th, she said, okay, well, I'm not going to tell you anything I came up with, pretty much. So
yeah, that's his story.
She even changed
asterisk.
changed a couple of the
asterisk.
things.
Gosh, Scott's
that,
just bitter that this guy might have more wins than him.
All right. Anyway, so I'm going to just I don't know which direction to go here. I'm just going to go with my favorites. I'm going to pick Joe Dirt's mullet.
Good call.
It's a good pick.
That is solid.
It's probably not a first round pick, but I don't know what our first round picks. I didn't have time to separate them.
I had it
tear them up. So
I had it tiered in my first round for sure. I think it's a good call.
It's a solid mullet. It is really, really legit.
and I'm going to go off the wall from now on for all the picks.
There you go.
Do it.
All right, I
Brad.
get a wrap, and I mean, I'm looking at my list, and I like so many of these, but I'm just struggling to be like, which is the right direction to go. But I think I'm going to start here. The first one, again, this is a movie I have not watched in a long time, but it is still pretty damn iconic as far as a hairstyle. When you've got like just the full like wave curve. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go ahead and take Ace Ventura.
Yep.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. It's pretty legit hair. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
And those
that
those
could be-
four were my 4 tier 1s.
And the thing is, it's like it's interesting because now I mean with the Jim Carrey
Now it gets
character
crazy.
out there. Well, I'm just saying with the Jim Carrey character, I was like, do you
Right.
want to jump into that? into that boat later on.
Well,
see.
technically, there could be another.
I could take all Jim Carrey, maybe. Who knows? Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll do a pattern.
Go a theme. Hey, you got another pick right now. Why don't you start that theme?
I do, but I'm actually, this is what's wild. I'm actually going to go with another Jim Carrey movie.
I know which one you're going with.
No, I don't. Maybe you don't, because I'm going to go ahead and take Clementine from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless
That's
Mind.
not where I was going.
She has colorful hair, and it's like iconic. Maybe that movie's a little bit underrated, and I could probably get this a little bit later. But I've always like thought of her hair like that. That movie's just really like kind of has a place in my heart, and it's like I just think of her hair. It's like she changes it, and it's Clementine.
You could have gotten that whenever you wanted it if it were down to me. That was nowhere on my radar.
That's a fourth round.
I don't know about you guys, if you guys had that on your list anymore.
Not on my list.
I got into well, that sucks. That's not on your list, but I got into my theme, and now I might maybe I'll make a theme happen.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe. All right, Walter.
All right, let's see. Where are we going next? I really want to just be wonky and do everything that I think I shouldn't to win. And yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go with Robert De Niro from Taxi Driver.
Oh, that's a good one.
Travis Bickle,
The
that Mohawk. Yeah,
So that was probably the second
So-
thing I thought of. It's the first thing that's on my list when I actually started writing it down, and I was like, how do people know? You know, like, is it just too old? But man, I mean, it's pretty iconic.
especially the final scene of that movie when he's laying back on the couch and it just pans up from his face and zooms out, and all you
mohawk,
see is his
yeah.
head and his mohawk. And
No, that's a good
I don't think that's going to be a good pick
I'm
with a
actually
judge.
I'm
but-
glad you took it because it would have been a little bit of a. I was kept returning to that one.
It's a good one. I dig it.
So this one I'm going to pick. This was the first thing I thought of when I thought of this category, and I kept thinking of it over and over again. The problem with it is I'm not sure that I don't know that enough people have seen the movie.
Okay. Very memorable.
Like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Probably more than that.
Oh, okay. Do it.
Mugatu from Zoolander.
Oh,
You
Jesus!
stole that from me.
Everybody's seen that.
That's a good one.
Maybe.
You just stole that from me.
Maybe.
I was going to take that on the rap for sure.
That was my son's first pick. He said Mugatu. So
Will Ferrell's character in Zoolander, for those uninformed.
and it's just like weird kind of
Blonde, like
It's almost like horns
bleach
or
white.
like
Yeah.
bleach white, sort of like
Yeah.
Circles.
Yeah. Okay.
all right.
Okay. I might throw the scent off a little bit to the judges here, and I'm going anime.
Anime.
Well, animation.
Oh.
Animation.
Not the same. not the same old man.
not the Japanese anime I watched in the privacy of my dark bedroom. I'm gonna go.
That's called hentai.
Right. This hairstyle is actually used for something that gets the hero up to the roof. She uses her hair. I'm going with Rapunzel in Tangled.
Oh, animation.
Animation.
Have you seen this fucking movie?
You can just stop that word at anime. It's
Do
a
you
whole
think I've
different
seen this
genre.
fucking
That's what I
movie?
said. I was like, that's not the same, buddy.
Those are different.
Animation, not anime.
All right,
So
well,
you've not seen this. You just took one.
Of course I have not.
That you have not seen.
Of course, because
I'm going to thwart.
this is a great pick.
Makes me sad.
My second pick I have seen, and I'm going to go with Jim Carrey. I'm going to go with Lloyd Christmas.
You shithead. I was just literally about to take that.
Lloyd Christmas from
Why are you fucking up my theme?
when they have him sitting in the chair with literally using a bowl to cut his hair.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's a solid cut, and I probably should have taken that with my rap, but that would have been 2 Jim Carreys in a row. Couldn't do it.
I'm glad you didn't.
So Nate now has a different pick.
That was the easy one. This makes it much harder. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to go here with an unusual one because I think the hair itself is not necessarily the most memorable part of the character, and yet when you see the hairdo, it somehow makes the character even scarier.
Scary.
Oh, I know where you're going.
And it's Sugar in No Country for Old Men. It's such a weird fucking page boy, like kind of strange haircut.
It's not a guy who should be a serial killer.
Exactly.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And that's probably the point.
Yeah. I mean, it's clearly a very intentional haircut choice.
Yeah.
It's not just a period cut. I mean, it is like that would have been in fashion at the time of the movies, but there were lots of other haircuts, right? And this is a choice.
So had you not picked that, I was going to pick it next. And once again, with the like, I just don't think it's going to be a good pick for the judge, but I was going to take it if you hadn't done it.
It wouldn't have ranked higher than what I already picked, but I literally thought of that like while I was probably on a tractor and forgot to write it down. And the minute you said it, I was like, oh shit, I forgot to write that down. So that was a good call.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. It's a great movie too. It's
funny that Lloyd Christmas and Chigurh right back to back because it's kind
almost
of
the same cut,
the same type of thing going on.
It's a great movie. Great score on that movie too.
All right, Scotch.
Not me. It's Walter.
Oh, Walter.
There's also no score in that movie. I was sure we could show
the owner
movie
of
people,
former owner of Bon Jovi.
No, anyway, all right. I
made myself laugh when I wrote that.
You made me laugh too.
All right, I'm going to pick Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
Ooh,
Johnny
dread-
Depp,
some
dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Stinky
dreads and some
stinky
and some
and the
like little
bandana
beads,
and the
beads in the
beads.
braid.
Yep, that's what I'm going to go with.
Yep.
So my son kind of dressed up as Captain Jack Sparrow last night for Halloween, and he actually
How do you kind of dress up?
well
as Jack
because
Sparrow?
he had like a whole kind of little pirate get up. It wasn't like super authentic. He actually just borrowed like he had a drumline performance where there were pirates.
Okay.
So he kind of like just kind of turned that into Jack Sparrow, but then he put a red bandana around his head, and he basically looked like Lieutenant Dan Sparrow. And that's what my wife and I were calling him the rest of the night. We're like, it's Lieutenant Dan Sparrow.
Somebody find a wheelchair for this kid in there. Lieutenant Dan Sparrow.
You got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
Oh man, I can't believe I'm down to my last two picks. This is wild. That's why I don't like having these four days. This sucks.
The fourth
It's not
rap. The fourth
fun.
rap is always interesting.
We're doing four picks, right?
Four picks.
Four picks. And I've got some that are just really fun. There's one I'm going for sure. It's on my list now. It's just my fourth pick. So I'm going to do my third pick right now. I'm going ahead and taking Cruella from 101 Down. I'm going to do the live action Glenn Close Cruella. So that's the actual
maybe
live action 101 Dalmatians.
Yep.
So far, the Eternal Sunshine pick's the only one that hasn't been on the list, or at least on my list.
I was going back and forth with Cruella and Rapunzel.
And then, God, I've got so many fun ones here that I just really, really, really like. I think my final one, though, here, I'm going to go ahead and take Harley Quinn, Suicide Squad. To wrap up my three females, Harley Quinn, you got the pink and the blue. It's iconic. And the pigtails, and she's always wearing the little Daddy's Monster shirt. And she's kind of evil, and she's definitely a Halloween. Halloween just passed us, and it's a very much a costume of choice for a lot of folks.
A lot of slutty Harleys out there.
There's also some innocent Harleys out there too. Okay.
A couple.
All right.
No offense.
What movie was it? What movie is it where they're all dressed up as Harley Quinn, or is it a TV
That was
show?
a porn you
Is
want.
this one of those hentai things you're talking about?
No. There's a shit, and it's like the news reporter. Fuck, I'm gonna have to think about this. All right,
You might have made that up.
Cut that out.
yeah. Walter, your final pick.
My turn? Okay. I just noticed, I looked at my team, I don't have any women on my team here. No women's hairstyles, and I don't know if I want to change that or if I just want to continue with the theme of picking hairstyles that I know aren't going to give me any points with the judge. So, all right, I'm going to go with, here's a good one. Brad Pitt from Fury, War Daddy, the undercut.
Okay.
Brad Pitt in a war movie,
Yeah.
the military haircut. That's what I'm going to pick.
All right. This is an unusual one in the sense that the hairdo that's memorable, and maybe this is sort of a good bookend because I suppose this is my first pick of Something About Mary. It kind of has this quality too. Mm-hmm. The hairdo that's memorable is not the one intended by the character.
Okay.
And so I want to go ahead and take Big Earn's uncomb over.
That's interesting.
Right. It's not the hair. It's not when it's combed over. It's when it's flapping in the wind.
Right. When
That
he's
is so
when he's doing the
memorable.
pelvic thrust.
Oh, it's so good.
So Kingpin is what you're talking about.
Kingpin, Big Earn.
Big Earn. Bill Murray's character in Kingpin. And when he throws a strike and he turns around and like the comb over
It's
is
just flapping in the
everywhere.
wind. It's just blowing.
That's-
It's real light. Oh, I love it.
I don't know how well it's going to score. I love that pick.
It was not on my list, but I do like the pick.
That's a great, yeah. Okay. 4th round, we're kind of allowed to get a little different and weird. And I'm trying to think if I should or if I should just try to get off the schneid and get back at the win column here. I'm going to go a little bit different. This character's hair is pretty much them. And I'm going to go with Cousin It from the Addams Family.
Man, I had that one on the list, and it was. I couldn't decide if it made sense, right? Because you're right. Is it a hairdo?
They're all hair.
It is.
It's the entire body is hair. And then
I
they
guess,
put glasses over
Cousin
it.
It could have like made a ponytail out
That's
of
the
it.
last pick of the draft. I say, fuck it. If I'm going to make a weird pick,
I
do
like
it on
it.
the last pick
I
of the
like
draft.
it.
So
that's kind of wild because my son, he's a senior in high school, and he was in the drama production of The Addams Family.
okay.
And he was Lurch, but his girlfriend played Cousin It at the very beginning.
Uh-huh.
And so they had the whole hair thing, and as she goes off stage, she ran into the wall like kaboom.
Like not part of the show.
Here's the thing.
Accidental.
So I'm like, oh shit, she's fucking hit the wall. Like, this is terrible. And then she kind of sneaks backstage. First thing when we get out of the performance, I asked Carter, I was like, dude, did she mean to do that? He's like, oh yeah, no, like that's like intentional. So she sold it amazingly. And so like every performance after that, like I went one night, and then like some of my other family members went, and they were all like, we felt the exact same thing. Like she sells it so well that she hits the wall that everybody was like, oh dude, is she hurt? Like, is she okay? And she was doing it just beautifully, like WWE wrestler
I
style.
love it.
Love it.
Yeah, pretty legit.
All right. So we.
Wow.
Holy shit, we've got a draft, and it didn't go necessarily the directions I thought it would.
Yeah.
This is a deep category. I cannot wait to hear the judges. take.
It's a hell of a lot deeper than I thought it would go when I saw the category come up, and I have a ton of also rounds, which is
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
I do have a billion, yeah, and I'll have to cut back on what we talk about.
All right. Shall we?
What's up, everybody? I'm Matt, the host of the Beard Laws Podcast, a podcast that has nothing to do with beards. A podcast where we aim to entertain and interact with our live viewers, but our listeners, they're like the quiet person that never talks sitting around the bonfire because the rest of the group is so entertaining, hilarious, wild, and a little bit dumb. So grab a drink, grab a snack, and let Beard Laws and the boys, Toby, Brandon, Logan, Zach, Richie, and our occasional special guest entertain you. We're live on the Beard Laws YouTube Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and for whatever reason you want to see us and or our beards, check us out, thebeardlawspodcast.com. We're everywhere.
Bathymetrics, YouTube assist. Gonna point out all the shit that we missed. It's the draft judge, crushing dreams once again.
Crush.
God, that's so good. Zach, it makes me miss Zach.
It makes me miss Zach
He got
too.
to
He has
crush
that
James
voice.
last week, though. He
Before
did get to do
today,
it.
I hadn't seen you, and I don't know how long. I don't know the last time I saw him.
Zach crushed Dreams as the actual draft judge last or
I
2 weeks
kinda-
ago.
He
That's pretty
sounded
cool.
like he enjoyed that so much.
Oh yeah.
And he was so mad to let you win.
Well, 'cause
He was so mad.
Oh, no, he was very upset about that, and the fact that we had our friends from the Two Chicks in a Horror Flick podcast, when he like watched her face as he said that she got last.
Oh man.
And he just like relished it. He's like, I know, Tony, you do not like this, but you are last. Right in
I
her
feel like
face.
you could hear it when he was like, and I think it's Tawny. I was like, shit,
we all
bro.
looked at each other like, oh, fuck,
Put it
he's
right
got
on
this.
her.
He's got it all spotted out. It
Yeah.
was wild.
Wow.
Because I completely just accepted the fact that I was gonna be fourth, and then I was like, oh shit, and her face was
Her dreams were crushed.
it hurt.
Oh, it was some legit dream crushing.
Oh man, I remember the first time my dreams were crushed.
Like,
Your skin
First
gets
grade.
thicker.
Yeah, it sure does. Yeah, back when they were talking to my ears.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
All right, what's going on here?
Okay, so Kendra is back, and she is back. She had some great takes, and she was a great ally for me back last week on the Notting Hill pod. And she's back to judge. And so she was sent to the dungeon where they did her hair. And she's got sort of what can only be described as a porn do. Oh. I don't know. It's kind of like it's really good, but it's got like a really flat, messy back of her head to it. So it's kind of strange.
It's a little pressed up on one side.
A little pressed on one side. So yeah, I don't know what she was doing in the dungeon, but anyway. So we're gonna ask her to tell us a little bit about how she approached the judging of the hair.
Well, I decided to do something a little bit different than I've done off the other times and actually build some sort of structure.
I love it.
Oh, look at me go.
Look at you.
Grow.
She's all grown up.
Look at us grown up.
Grown up, and she's grown up.
I did try to come up with a different way than I think the Gov's the OG way of doing this 1 to 16, but I didn't figure out a way that I liked enough, so I still did that. My top pick got 16 all the way down to the 1. So I did that. And then I had 3 extra points point systems that I did. So I had Slick Silhouette.
Oh, I love the names.
Which is the hair memorable by itself? Like if you saw the hair on a mannequin head with no face and no
you would know
context,
what it was.
Would you know what it is? And that would get
That's a great category.
Thank you. Then I have Unbelievable, which is
Love the wordplay.
Unbelievable.
Which is there something, and not a whole lot of them hit this one. Is there something that makes the hairdo that's not natural? Like one might say semen, one might say hair dye. Is there something that part of the signature hairdo is not? Do they get dumped in a vat of acid and that's why their hair's a certain way? What's going on here? So if that was a thing, then they got 1 more point. And then the last one is a really terrible play on words, but I did what I did it anyways. I did soup hair star. If the wig is something that people, or the hair is something that people wear, or if that person is that person because of their hair, to go back to the semen thing, because that's a good example. Well, no, it's not a good example. But
you just have semen on the brain.
I do, apparently. Well, I'm holding my boobs. But anyways, if it is if the actor or the movie is defined by that particular coif, then they got a point as well.
Okay, so we have the categories that you use, which are great. What are without telling us who the teams were that got these points, what are the 4-point totals starting with the lowest and going up?
So this one was a lot of drafts I feel like that I listened to, the points are really close. This one was not.
Oh, wow.
So the bottom team has 28 points and the top team has 54.
Oh, shit.
All right. So what's within the two?
So it goes 28, 36, 44, 53.
Oh, really?
Everybody's in a different decade.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, because I thought you guys, I had a really hard time actually I did try to figure out whose was who. I'll be honest with it.
That's not a problem at all since your husband's drafting.
I mean, I don't know which one he would do. I don't. That's what I was gonna say. Is I really don't know.
Just for fun,
because there's
when you do say the scores, say who you think the team.
Yeah, when you announce the team, say who you thought it was.
Okay, I don't have any idea who did, but I will guess.
Okay.
Okay, so
I think we are ready to hear some results.
To break some feelings. So I will say
we're gonna crush some dreams.
Before I do that, I will say that last place flipped. Well, not flipped, but the
hair flip?
third and fourth blooped after some of the extra points.
So the extra points affected the third and fourth place.
Okay.
After you did your 1 through
that.
16, the extra points flipped. Okay.
I like. Okay.
Because they were closer, and then the extra points.
So the bonus points made a difference. Is what you're saying.
There we go.
Yes.
All right. So in fourth place.
All right, and you want me? Okay, I have to go back and look at the team so that I can tell you who I think it is, since that's the rules now.
You don't have to.
No, I'm down. I'm down.
I'll
to
read
do
the
this.
teams once you say
I'm down to
whatever
do
team
this.
number it is.
4th place.
Okay, 4th place
With how many points?
With 28 points. Let me just make sure that is accurate. I had team 2.
And who do you think that is?
Just because there was one movie that I had no idea what it was, I think it was Scotch.
Team
Was
2
it?
includes
Oh.
Mary from There's Something About Mary, Mugatu from Zoolander, Shiger from
sorry,
No
I
Country
love
for
you.
Old Men, and Ernie McCracken.
Fourth fucking place with
I
that
love
team?
you so much. I'm sorry.
And that's our friend.
How? It felt like such a good team.
Oh, I don't know if I feel the same way.
You
Clearly
mentioned
you
you
don't.
mentioned something about Mary like 6 times in your
Right.
examples. How did that not get me mega points?
I've never seen Kingpin, so I didn't have any attachment to that movie.
That
Okay.
hurts. Yep. And that's
Did
what.
did you look up pictures of movies you didn't know?
So that's the only movie I hadn't seen.
Did you look up a picture?
I did.
Okay.
I did. But the only reason I put him lower is because as far as memorable, I had no
Okay.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
I had
makes
no
sense.
he
That
didn't
happens.
get my bottom pick.
Okay.
He was my pick 15.
Okay,
but yeah.
that's not better. All right, so
sorry.
And I knew that was a risky pick. I love that pick, Nate.
but it does
with-
actually
with the-
require
with the judge-
animation. It does require you have to
Yeah.
actually have seen the animation
scene-
or it doesn't work.
Yeah, if you don't see him pelvic thrusting after throwing
And
the
the hair
strike,
flying in
it
the wind.
doesn't work
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
So it totally makes sense.
Okay, so,
Fortunately, I've never seen him pelvic thrust with his hair.
It's
It
worth,
is, it's
worth a
Bill
watch.
Murray at some of his best.
so,
I'll
so,
touch
so,
base.
so something about Mary did well.
Yeah, so let's see. Something about Mary did. Mugatu and Mary rested on both sides of the very, very middle for me.
Oh.
So, sorry, Mugatu was on the upper half of the bottom 8, and Mary was on the bottom half of the top 8.
Okay.
Damn, that's rough.
I'm sorry.
I like
There's
it.
a lot of There's a lot of hair in here that I really love.
Oh Jesus,
I'm sorry.
All righty.
goddamn bullshit.
So, but as
love you
as
so
a,
much.
as a consolation with your fresh bottle of grenadine, you also actually had more points before the bonus points than whoever got third place.
Yeah, you should have been in third, and the bonus points happened.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
I'm gonna go get some grenadine. You guys sort this shit out.
All right, let's move on to third place.
Third place.
With third place, don't try to look at my numbers, you cheaty. Oh, yeah, the angels came down and sang
Yeah,
to you.
someone brought me my bottle of grenadine. I'm just
Last
gonna
week,
sit quietly now.
that fresh bottle of grenadine.
In third place with 36 points, I have Team 3.
Team 3 includes Joe Dirt from Joe Dirt, Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver, Captain Jack from Pirates of the Caribbean, Caribbean,
I think either is correct.
whatever,
Caribbean.
and War Daddy from Fury.
So this one is kind of like Nate's. Oh, sorry. I guess you should say whoever it is first.
Who did you think it was?
Oh, gosh. I have to do that one. Gosh, I don't know. There's no Disney. Well, there's one Disney, so I don't think it's as Brad. But I don't know. Is this one you?
It's me.
Is it you?
Yeah.
I don't know who
Third
anyone is
place.
on this one. This one was a lot like Nate's in the sense where I thought you had two that were really good and two that were, well, one that was okay and one that was garbage.
What was the garbage one?
Well, whether it was Aldo Rain
there's the
or
Fury pick.
yeah, that's not it for me. That's just like a manicured hairdo that he actually has in both of the movies, that the one I got on this one and that one. So I don't think it's that memorable.
To be
But I
fair,
love
I
you.
My
just
bad.
did say Brad Pitt in a
My
military
bad.
movie is what I came down to picking. So,
We could have just wrote that.
yeah. All right. That was my best pick.
but-
Pirates of the Caribbean. Johnny Depp.
That was your best. So let me look at I sent myself all my points over here. So let's see. Aldo, or it wasn't Aldo, but Fury,
Yeah.
that was my least favorite pick.
Okay.
And then, where are the rest of you?
Captain Jack and Joe Dirt and Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver.
Travis Bickle was pretty low. I know that the like thin mohawk is quite a thing, but I feel like there's.
Zac Efron wears it in Neighbors.
But if we're gonna, Okay, but he's also not on this draft. If we're gonna talk about
Shit, if she would have done Zac Efron as
No.
Travis Bickle.
no.
I mean, it's,
While I do want him to sweep me off my feet in last call, he wouldn't win this draft. I just don't think that there's enough. I just don't think it's memorable enough for me. Anyways, that one, and then Joe was pretty high, and Jack Sparrow is actually my number 2 pick.
Ooh, nice in the
Still
third
got
round.
Grabbed it in the
place.
third
That was
round.
Great. Yeah.
Yeesh.
Cool. All right. Well,
right.
I love you.
I'll some of that grenadine. I'll some of that grenadine. Nate.
Yeah.
All right,
Get on it.
so Scotch and I, who've
Here we
been
go.
part of the most drafts this season on BVK,
God, I'm so scared.
we are here facing off. Good luck, sir.
And it's not even close.
I want you guys
Remember
to
that.
hold your boobs for good luck.
Oh, hold your boobs.
Each other's.
Whatever feels right.
I ain't
Consent is key.
touching no means no.
All right. So then the next one, where is it? The next one with 44 points is Team 1.
Team 1 includes Princess Leia from Star Wars, Rapunzel from Tangled, Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber, and Cousin It from the Addams Family.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
God, Brad's going to be insufferable.
I'm sorry.
Horrible.
Am I the worst
Hey,
winner
but-
of all time?
Oh, yeah.
You're the worst.
But I don't think you've never won at my hand before, though.
This is the first time. I appreciate
We gotta
it.
give Scott. We gotta give Scott's team some shine, right? So
No,
it's,
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, you had a great team. I really liked your team.
Just not as much as Brad's.
Not as much as Brad's, obviously.
Clementine was an insane pick. Anyway, keep
Was
But
it?
Clementine was my least favorite on his.
okay.
On
If that does anything for you.
It does a little.
Okay. Cousin It, absolutely love. Princess Leia, absolutely love. Lloyd Christmas, I absolutely love. Rapunzel, I liked, but I just didn't. I don't know why I was being such a stubborn butthole with that in my own. My own
magical
thing.
flowers and shit. Like, you
I
know.
mean, the fucking hair is the movie.
You're not wrong.
Actually, the relationship is Tangled, Scotch. If you watch the movie, it's not the hair.
I've seen the movie.
You said you
I
had.
said you didn't when you picked it.
I never fucking saw that movie. I read the book when I was a kid.
But I will say Leia was my top pick.
Yeah, that's one.
It has to be.
We figured that was the number one.
It has to be
Yeah.
my top pick.
And Cousin It, the last pick of the entire draft, I thought that was a steal.
Which is, Which in the Addams Family, I love it. I love the Addams Family.
What's the number one? Or where did it fall in your ranking of 16?
It made it. Oh, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it went to 7.
Oh, wow.
Just because Brad, besides that Clementine one, he nailed it. I thought.
Do we want to hear about the winning team?
I don't.
No, I don't. Can we just end
We
the
can talk
episode?
about it, Brad.
Can we do
All right.
also rans?
We can
Is
talk
time
about it.
for
So
also rans?
Team 4 includes Ace Ventura from Ace Ventura Pet Detective, Clementine from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Cruella from the 101 Dalmatians live action version, and Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad.
I mean, just strictly speaking, especially since we're recently past Halloween, I feel like he's got so much.
Drama in the hair.
Yeah, and like people who build their costumes based on that hair. Like the hair in yours, I think, was the most distinguished overall.
Iconic. I would
See, the Harley Quinn.
I would say iconic.
the Harley Quinn pick for me. I was like, I guess for me, I was kind of like, it's pigtails, right? Like,
But it's the color.
Pink and
it's more
blue.
than. It's the whole. It's
I
the
don't
whole
know.
thing.
They're attached to
Quinn's
Margot
more
Robbie.
about the T-shirt and the
that-
daddy's
yeah,
little monster.
Yeah,
Are you
that
guys
one I was
thinking-
like,
but if
are you
you-
guys thinking
but-
about tits again?
But if you see that hair on a mannequin anywhere, you know whose hair that is.
Because of
Do
the
you,
color.
though?
Because of the color.
I
you're
think
saying.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Color-
the color
color-
and the style.
I think
and-
that's.
I see in color. I'm sorry, guys.
I think that's. I'm colorblind, so I guess it makes sense. Actually, wait a minute. This is a totally unfair draft. I just realized I can't even see color, and I'm supposed to judge. And you gave color this like heavy weight.
Hey, you were
Protest.
sitting there.
Cruella is
Draft
black
is
and-
under protest.
Cruella is black and white.
You were
Come on
sitting
now.
there so excited
looks
about
great.
my
It all
point
looks
scheme
great to
before,
me.
and now you thought Unbelievable
looks-
was hella witty, and now you're bitter.
Yeah, I just like the name.
No wonder you hated on Clementine.
All right.
Clementine was the worst pick of the draft.
No, yours was the worst pick of the
second
draft.
worst. Sorry.
My bad.
No, that was
My stupid.
that was
No,
yours. Love you.
My great pick.
I don't
wonderful pick. All right, so what do we got over there? So you got
A win? Is that what
You got a win
I
over
do
there?
I do have a W over.
so well, give me where were his stupid picks fall?
So his worst one was Clementine.
Which when I picked it, I was like, I knew it was a reach. I shouldn't have gone there. I don't know why I did, but I went Jim Carrey. So that was kind of weird.
She was 6 from the bottom, and then Ace Ventura had 11 points, Harley Quinn had 13, and Cruella had 14. So it was just kind of hard to.
Just picking up those points in the late rounds, boys. That's how you do it.
I fucking hate you so much.
Pitter
No,
patter.
I
Let's
think-
get at her.
To be fair, your points without any extra points was the same as Scott's with
second
all the
place?
extra points.
The bonus
Yeah.
points.
But then as soon as you started saying like colors in the hair and this and that, I was like, okay, I'm getting some bonus points here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna scoop some up.
Yeah.
Iconic. Notice you when you see the hair, you're like, that's who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt like you did the best.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just become all-time judge.
Kendra, hey,
and draft.
thanks for
And
thanks
draft.
for sending your scoring judgment to me before the draft. I appreciate
You're
that.
so dumb.
I really appreciate that.
All right, let's move on from this and talk about all the picks that we could have picked.
The picks that we could have picked are those called.
How the fuck could we miss that one? I just don't understand. It's our all so grand. You idiots.
I'm legitimately shocked that there's
Oh, boy.
no Fifth Element in here. What the fuck is going on, you guys?
On my
There's
list.
no Fifth Element. There's no Zord.
Probably on
I almost
everybody's.
grabbed
There's
Lilu.
nothing?
Lilu? Almost grabbed
Yeah.
Lilu. I almost
Lilu.
did. And I-
Literally, you could throw
Ruby
a
Rob.
dartboard at
Ruby
the
Rob.
cast of that movie and you have memorable hair.
Yeah, because I mean, Chris Tucker, his is just wild.
It looks
Mila
like
Jovovich
a.
is-
It looks
is
like
wild.
a fucking.
loofah.
No, it looks like what you put your wing ding in. You know, like a.
Fleshlight?
Pocket,
Yes, it looks like a fleshlight.
a pocket pussy.
His hair looks like a pocket pussy fleshlight. Yes.
I didn't ever think about that.
I didn't think
Legolas. No one has Legolas from Lord of the Rings.
It is a weird.
That's some pretty
long,
memorable hair.
blonde, elfy hair.
I almost took Mila Jovovich in the Fifth Element, and then I realized I had no women on my team and decided to stick with no women on my team.
Very easy pick. Oompa Loompas.
Yeah,
Okay,
that one.
I told my family tonight. I was like, I think that's gonna be my secret like fun pick is the Oompa Loompas, and then I just decided not to do it. Like the green hair is iconic, absolutely. Nate, it's green hair and
But I will
Willy
say,
Wonka.
That movie's in color.
almost every single one that you guys picked, I do have on my list though.
Were there any others that we didn't mention?
Well, yeah, I have about 40 on my list.
All right,
I've got Cindy Lou, Napoleon Dynamite.
I have
Cindy Lou is on my list.
I've got Dorothy from The Wizard of
Ooh,
Oz.
good one.
Oh, okay.
I've got Edward Scissorhands,
Yeah.
Frankenstein.
What about Vincent Vega from Pulp Fiction?
That's
See,
the
I have
wild
Mia
hair.
Wallace from Pulp Fiction.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good one
Bang.
too.
How about
Austin Powers.
Oh,
Yeah. How about Holly Golightly from Breakfast at
I
Tiffany's?
have her on my thing too. Yeah.
You got Cameron Poe from Con Air.
that's a
No.
good one.
Nick Cage
Kind of
is
a bullet.
bullet. It's pretty
Speaking
iconic.
of your terrifying pillow in there, I hate Nicolas Cage.
Me too.
I hate him.
I know. It was
He's
God.
ruined the city of New Orleans. Do you know that? He's garbage.
Oh boy.
Oh, what did he do?
Just bought a big plot of.
He did all sorts of
cemetery.
things. It's I.
Well, I was just thinking he's a terrible actor. I don't know.
He is
I don't
also
know him as a
well.
person.
He is the definition of one.
Yeah,
He is always
the
Nicolas
exact
Cage.
same thing.
Cage. Yeah.
I was so happy in Wicker Man when he died.
The opposite of that is what about what about Gary Oldman playing Drexel Spivey?
Drexel.
And True
Oh, well, he's got
Romance?
some white dreads.
Yeah, that's a great
How
one.
about, how about a couple of people that you could from the same movie, and you can go either or Danny Zuko or Sandy from Grease.
I do.
Oh.
I do have Sandy in here.
Nope. The correct pick from Greece, Frenchie
Oh,
with the pink hair.
that is good.
That's a good call.
I've got I think that Elvis is a pretty iconic hairstyle, and in Jailhouse Rock, Elvis in Jailhouse Rock, I think is one I had down here. Or
You can't go Boss Lerman's Elvis?
What about Simon
Good.
Phoenix from
But
Demolition?
none of us
Man?
did.
Simon Phoenix was I was like, ooh, I feel like that's not going to go over well.
Or Riggs's feathered hair from Lethal Weapon.
I had Riggs on my list.
I love it. I also have Katniss Everdeen. You know,
Oh,
she get all
yeah.
lights on fire.
You're going way back with Liz Taylor and Cleopatra.
Ooh, there we go.
How about White Goodman from Dodgeball?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's some good.
His hair flowing.
I love that.
Or Katinka. No, that's different. That's Zoolander. Katinka Inka Bagovana Nana. Right? Isn't that Zoolander?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Continue, anyways.
I had two. One, we've done the movie, Daryl from Coming to America with his Soul Glow, or Pinky from Next Friday.
Oh,
who
yeah,
also-
the Jerry Curl.
he's also got the same
Oh,
thing.
House
going on.
Party would have been a good one.
Oh,
Chris-
shit. Kid and Play.
Kid and Play.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, that's a great one. I can't believe I didn't think of that
Big
one.
Worm from Friday. Big
Big
Perm.
Worms, Perm.
What's up, Big Perm?
Got a Christopher Reeve Superman curl.
Yep.
I
Yep.
know.
They got
You know
that.
what? The funny, my daughter mentioned that tonight. She was like, and I hadn't even thought about that. She's like, you know, his little like thing that reverse ducktail, I guess it would be.
Yeah.
So another one, High from Raising Arizona. He kind of has the spike. It's like the same where it's just kind of a messy, like it just does what it does.
Oh, yeah. No, a bunch of people went as HI that one year.
What about Jareth from the Labyrinth, the Goblin King? No one has the
David
Goblin
Bowie.
King.
Yes, that's pretty iconic. Another Mayday, Grace. What is it? Grace Jones from A View to a Kill. She has just like the flat top. Yep.
Yeah. So
You said this earlier. You got to say it. The one you were thinking is a shaved head.
Oh yeah,
hairdo.
so
Dr.
a little
Evil.
a little love to bald being like a hairstyle is Dr. Evil. There's also Patrick Stewart in X-Men, right?
Oh,
Vin
yeah.
Diesel in Fast and Furious.
I thought you were gonna say Lieutenant
So-
O'Neill, G.I.
G.I. Jane. Yeah, Demi Moore's character.
Oh, that's
in
a
G.I.
good
Jane.
one.
Yeah,
Actually, that is a good
that's a good one.
That's
I
one
was
of the better
saving that
ones.
one, but you hopped in there, so that's a good one.
A quick follow up on something that was drafted was Ace Ventura from the first movie. But how about When Nature Calls, when he actually does the double horn?
Oh, yeah.
I almost thought about drafting him again.
You should have done that.
Yeah.
So interestingly, this is inspired by Notting Hill, right? And there's no, in this one, Julia Roberts doesn't have any memorable hair. But what about her in Pretty Woman?
I do have
Oh, yeah, the
Vivian
big-
from
Right,
Pretty
she
Woman
has that
on here.
big,
Big,
curly,
beautiful red hair.
yeah.
Just to shoe in a Marvel reference because I know how much Zach hates it. Wolverine's hair, Hugh Jackman, and
Oh, I didn't even think
Yeah,
about his
X-Men.
hair.
Yeah.
That's because
That is a good
the
one.
Marvel universe is garbage and should never be spoken of on this pod.
Along with Julia Roberts, the Penny Lane, her big curls. Like, I mean,
Oh yeah,
that's
the big
semi-iconic.
like ringlet curls. Yeah, that's good. It's good stuff.
We didn't do any other animated, but Syndrome from The Incredibles. He's got this whole like little big red mop going on.
How about something about Mary?
Jasmine.
Something about Mary, her dad, the afro in the picture.
Well, yeah, when he looks at like their high school picture. Yeah, that's pretty legit.
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot. This is a deep category.
Yeah, that's when I started like writing my list of just like also rans and whatnot. I was like, gosh, you can really,
Go deep.
you can dive.
Yeah.
You can dive pretty hard.
And you can make the case for a lot of these. Like you when you get into the late rounds, like you actually like probably 30 of those could easily have been picked, and it wouldn't have been a crazy pick. I mean, especially for teams that didn't do particularly well.
I'm sorry. I love you so much. You've won before.
I've never
He's
won. When was the last time I won?
I
Been
think you
years.
won.
It's been
I
years.
had you win once, I think. And Zach won once.
Who knows?
Is
You
Billy
won once.
Crystal's hair iconic just because of how floofy it is? It's kind of
I think
Brillo
you mean
patty or
curly, but yes.
curly. Yeah.
I yes.
I was just thinking of ways I could have pandered to you more, and Billy Crystal.
but I don't.
Harry
But
Met Sally.
no, but that's not iconic to the movie. So it's like Elvis, kind of like he has iconic hair, but he doesn't have a movie where like that's it. I don't think.
What about Hanks and Castaway?
Oof.
That's when
That's the
Oh,
part
when
we
it
were
gets real
spoke about
crazy.
earlier, where the beard becomes part of the
Beards
hairstyle.
and- yeah.
Or Forrest Gump when he's running.
Running.
I wasn't
and
running.
running.
Where's Zach? Where's Zach when you need him?
I know.
Oh God.
All right. Well, Kendra, even though you shoved me deep into the back of the draft
Of
rankings,
the flat with no doors.
She just knows
No
you
way
like, she knows you like grenadine.
That's fair. That's true.
Yeah.
I got to just sit here and drink my grenadine. Joke's on you. All right. So we are going to thank you for coming. Thanks for
Absolutely.
judging.
Thank
Thanks
you for having
two
me.
two good weeks of Kendra is we're getting spoiled. You got to come on back.
I
come
appreciate-
back early and often.
It's nice to
I'll
see
always
Walter
be
get back down and lower in the pack, kind of where he belongs.
You're telling me.
Put him in his place.
I can start giving him his bevometrics, his overall like performance and his draft.
Yeah, he's got enough.
You win one Super Bowl, you don't care how many other ones you lost. You won one, and that's what matters.
There you go.
All right. So next week we are doing it's it could be mistaken for a similar genre, but it's Mean Girls,
Yeah.
and it is. Scott, you're going to lead it. Why do you love it so much?
It's just, I don't know. It's just one of those movies that it's super quotable. I love Rachel McAdams. To me, is just one of the all-time. She's very versatile.
Yeah,
you know,
she is.
it's kind of a different role for her compared to some of the other later stuff she does.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just always liked this movie. And we recently we're going to do this on October 3rd, which is Mean Girls Day, but we unfortunately missed it. But yeah, I don't know. I dig the movie, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
All right, so that's what we're coming back with. Make sure
And there's always a chance that by the time this comes out, like Lindsay Lohan might have died, and then we'll be like, "Oh
shit,
like,
God.
what's happening right
You're
now?
not supposed to say it with someone who might actually die.
Wait, what? Why is she sick?
No, she's just,
She's probably just got issues. I'm assuming.
you know.
This is dark, Brad. You got to let you.
Bradley.
What's
that me?
happening? This is 2 weeks. Brad last week threatened the lives of all paparazzi-related people, and had alternate endings where people were just offing themselves, like
Jumping off bridges.
Jumping off bridges. And today you're like, maybe Lindsay Lohan will die. Okay, that's
Maybe
too,
he's still
I'm just
like,
saying, of
too
all the movies
soon.
we've chosen, like this is one where it can be
Lindsay
like, you know
alone.
what? She might.
Timing might work out.
he's wrapped up in the Halloween
wrong?
aftershock.
What's
Was that
wrong with
Christian?
you?
No, he was talking about Britney. Never mind. It
I
wasn't.
know I
talking
was
about
doing a
Lindsay.
bit
Yeah.
there.
Leave Britney alone.
We live in civilized society, Brad. You can't just go around telling people that they might die.
The problem is, I hate paparazzis, but I also hate celebrities.
So why isn't it like you just let them have each other?
So let's do a movie pod.
Man, Brad, you're really, this is awesome. This is awesome. All right, so make sure you the only way we grow is if you tell people, because we're not out there like buying billboards. Although we should think about buying a billboard. But.
Yeah.
There's the other side, and the one that Last Calls On needs a spoopty.
Yeah, we have a billboard in Oakdale where one half of it is still available for rent.
We'll talk.
Hey.
Okay.
Did you guys hear that there was that Chargers game? I think it was on Monday Night Football, and like there was like they were just about to win, and she was like going nuts, and then they lost, and she like was freaking out, and now she's like on billboards, like they're using her, and like everybody thinks that she was like an NFL player.
Well, I think she was. She was caught at a Vikings game last year, I think it was, doing the same exact kind of thing. So yeah, I think
It's just
a
straight
Planet
up
fan. Yeah.
astroturfing us.
And the NFL is like the ultimate. So
that makes me so
They're
sad.
like major mafioso. Basically.
they're like the most shameless. Like they'll sell out for anything. Which ironically, I'm like I knew this going in, so no one tricked me. So I'm like, I'm fine. You're the devil. I knew that. I knew that when I showed up.
Well, I mean, when Deshaun Watson gets suspended 11 games and someone that made a sports bet gets suspended for an entire season,
yeah.
there's things that aren't adding up.
Yeah, that is just so not fetch. So not fetch.
Make a good movie. It'd make a good movie.
What did you just say?
Segue.
All right. So
Love it.
share us on your.
I think Nate's confused
I don't even know what he's saying. Okay, so
because fetch never happened. Okay, Nate.
Yeah. Stop trying to make fetch a thing.
is that a new word?
You won't fucking be here. Who cares?
Okay, so comment on our socials. Tell your friends about us. Review us. I don't give a shit. All right. See you. Bye bye.
Oh, yeah.